Today, I took every #1 pick in NBA history that's in 2K and put them into a 1v1 tournament. In total, we have 54 players, and the top 10 rated players are going to get a bye from the first round. And let's just go through the first round real quick. Derek Coleman beat Mark Aguirre 22-10. Anthony Davis beat Michael Thompson 22-6. Joe Smith with a huge upset over Kyrie Irving, beating him 22-13. Elton Brand beat Ben Simmons 22-20. Blake Griffin beat Austin Carr 22-0. Ralph Sampson beat Kenyon Martin 22-2. James Worthy beat Kwame Brown 22-6. I was really rooting for Kwame. Kind of unfortunate he goes out so early. Chris Webber beat Greg Oden 22-16. Glenn Robinson with the upset over Zion Williamson, beating him 22-14. Patrick Ewing beating Fred Hetzel 22-0. Bob Lanier beat Andrew Wiggins 22-4. Paulo Banchero beat Larry Johnson 22-4. Bill Walton beat Andrew Bogut 22-6. Elvin Hayes beat Markelle Fultz 22-4. Brad Daughtry beat Doug Collins 22-4. John Wall beat Cade Cunningham 22-12. Victor Wembanyama beat Karl Anthony Towns 22-6. And then probably the biggest upset of the first round, Anthony Bennett beating David Thompson 22-11. Quite possibly the worst first overall pick in all of NBA history moves on from the first round. Dwight Howard beat DeAndre Ayton 22-8. Danny Manning upset Anthony Edwards 22-11. Derrick Rose narrowly beating Michael Olawokandi. I hope I pronounced that right. Derrick Rose beat him 22-20. And then lastly, Yao Ming beat Bargnani 22-8. And with round 1 completed, we are down to only 32 players. I'm going to go through round 2 quick as well. Starting off, we had LeBron James beating Derek Coleman 22-6. Anthony Davis beat Joe Smith 22-10. Elton Brand with a huge upset over Oscar Robertson, beating him 22-4. Allen Iverson beat Blake Griffin 22-8. Shaq beat Ralph Sampson 22-10. James Worthy beat Chris Webber 22-16. Hakeem Olajuwon beat Glenn Robinson 22-0. Patrick Ewing beat Bob Lanier 22-10. Kareem beat Paulo Banchero 22-6. Bill Walton beat Elvin Hayes 22-6. David Robinson beat Brad Daughtry 22-6. Elgin Baylor beat John Wall 22-14. And then Victor Wembanyama with a huge upset, beating the best player in his team's history, Tim Duncan, 21-10. Then unfortunately for Anthony Bennett, he lost to Dwight Howard 22-0. I was hoping he'd win the whole tournament, but can't always get what we want. Magic Johnson beat Danny Manning 22-16. And lastly, Derrick Rose beat Yao Ming 22-8. On to round number 3 now. If you guys enjoy these tournament videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I upload a ton of them. But starting off in round 3, we have LeBron James versus Anthony Davis. This game was a battle of defense. LeBron couldn't buy a bucket to start the game because AD was blocking everything he put up. In the end, AD had 12 blocks. Unfortunately for him, LeBron caught fire on both offense and defense, going on a huge run, going up 20-6. AD made a solid comeback, putting up 14 points, but in the end, LeBron won, and he moves on to the next round. Next up is Elton Brand versus Allen Iverson. Elton Brand had a massive size advantage in this game, and it really showed. After AI missed his first shot, it was over for him. He had no way to stop Brand on defense, who upset AI 22-0, and he moves on to the next round. Up next, we got Shaq versus James Worthy. This was another complete blowout. Worthy had no chance to stop Shaq in the paint. Shaq won 22-0 and moves on to the next round. Next, we got Hakeem versus Patrick Ewing. As most center versus center matchups are, this game was very boring, but very close the entire time as well. It was pretty much whoever had the best post moves would win, and of course that was Hakeem, who won 22-16. He moves on to the next round. Next up is Kareem versus Bill Walton. Another center versus center matchup here that wasn't very enjoyable to watch. This game was dominated by Kareem, who won 22-8, and he moves on to the next round. Next up is David Robinson versus Elgin Baylor. This game was a huge mismatch in favor of David Robinson. With such a big height advantage over Baylor, he didn't give up the ball one time. Winning 22-0, Robinson moves on to the next round. Next up is Dwight Howard versus Victor Wembanyama. Another two centers facing off here, but usually with Wemby playing, it's a lot more exciting than the typical center. He was having a block party against Dwight, ending the game with 10 blocks. Dwight was clamping up Wemby on defense as well though, and it was back and forth till it was tied up at 12. Then Wemby took over, winning 22-12, and he moves on to the next round. And our final matchup of this round, we got Derrick Rose versus Magic Johnson. The only 2 point guards left in the tournament facing off here. Unfortunately for D Rose, Magic is 6 inches taller than him, which is a major advantage in 2K, and Magic won easily 22-8, and he moves on to the next round. And we are into the quarterfinals now. Our first matchup, we have Elton Brand facing off against LeBron James. This is to make it into the final 4 players. Elton Brand, I think, has got pretty lucky with his matchup so far, but I don't see him taking down LeBron here. LeBron inside pump fake, puts up the shot, and that's a bucket. Unfortunately for Elton Brand, he stood no chance against LeBron. While he did have a lot of blocks during the game, he wasn't able to score a single point. LeBron won 22-0, and he moves on to the final 4. Moving on to our next match, we have Hakeem Olajuwon facing Shaquille O'Neal. 2 of the greatest centers in NBA history facing off here. It's probably going to be a boring game because all centers do is get in the paint, and then they're good defenders as well, so there's a lot of bricks. This was indeed a very boring game. Centers are just no fun to watch. Shaq dominated all game though and won 22-10, and he moves on to the final 4. And we are on to our next game. We got David Robinson facing off against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Very lucky for us, we get to watch 2 centers face off again. This game was about as interesting as the last one. It was a lot closer throughout though. David Robinson came away with the upset, winning 22-18, and he moves on to the final 4. And we are into the final game of the quarterfinals. We got Victor Wembanyama facing off against Magic Johnson. Victor, the lowest rated player in this tournament by far now. With his height, he's just so good. Getting a block there on Magic to start. But Magic's a pretty tall point guard, so maybe he can do something here. Fading, putting up a shot. Doesn't get blocked. That's good. And Wembanyama already has his takeover badge. He hasn't even scored yet. He just has a block and a rebound, and he got his takeover, which is kind of insane. Inside, that's just too easy for him to score. And things continued like this for the rest of the game. Wemby would score easily inside. If Magic got the ball, Wemby would easily stop him. In the end, Wemby won 22-2 and moves on to the final 4. And here we are, down to the final 4 players. Up first, we have Shaquille O'Neal facing off against LeBron James. LeBron is the 1 seed in the tournament, but Shaq is going to be a really hard player to beat. LeBron inside, and he misses the layup. I thought he was going to hit that, honestly. But not a great start for LeBron. I don't know how LeBron's going to stop Shaq on defense. I mean, Shaq is just 2-0. Oh, okay, there. He got to stop. I guess that's how he's going to stop him. Unfortunately for LeBron, he would only get 2 more stops the rest of the game, those coming by steals. He had no answer for Shaq in the paint. Shaq won easily 22-4, and he moves on to the finals of the tournament. And on to our other final 4 matchup, we got Victor Wembanyama facing off against David Robinson. 2 Spurs players facing here. I mean, Wemby already has 1 win against the previous Spurs #1 overall pick with Tim Duncan, getting a stop to start off this game. Wemby driving. Fading, puts up the tough shot. That's no good. All right. This might be another very boring center matchup. So, yeah, this game was not the most fun to watch. But Wemby with another upset here, absolutely taking over this game. He won 22-6 and moves on to the finals. And here we are, down to the final 2 players in the tournament. Victor Wembanyama versus Shaquille O'Neal. The 2023 first overall pick facing off against the 1992 first overall pick. Shaq gets to start with the ball here since he is the higher seed. Wemby with a block, and he gets the layup to fall. I mean, it's crazy that Wemby is in the finals, the most recent pick out of all these players, but he's just way too good in 2K. I mean, look at that fadeaway, up 4-0 against Shaq. Let me know if you guys want to see like a guards only tournament, because it is kind of unfair for the centers. They kind of win all these tournaments just because of their height. So doing one with only guards would kind of be cool to see who the best guard is. All right, Shaq still with no points. He's got to score something. Gets blocked by Wemby again. Wemby up 6-0. And he flexes on Shaq. I mean, this is kind of funny to see. Wemby flexing on Shaq with how much bigger Shaq is than him. And Shaq misses, gets the putback slam. Finally, Shaq getting some points on the board. Shaq inside, blocked by Wemby. Gets the ball back and posters Wemby. There we go. Shaq started to catch some fire here. Back in the post. Puts up the tough shot, blocked by Wemby again. Wemby with so many blocks, but Shaq still scores. Go for the steal right there, Shaq. That's an easy one. Wemby got to put up the 3-pointer, and he drains it to go up to 11. How is Wemby this good? It makes no sense. He's an 88 overall. Shaq's a 98 overall, and he's up 13-8. Inside again. Misses that one, the putback slam. Shaq making a comeback here. All right, back in the post. Post takeover. Almost gone for Shaq. And he gets another putback. It's a goaltend. It went in anyways. And the lead is cut down to 1. For 2 centers, this is actually a good match for like the first time ever. We usually don't get ones this good. Shaq gets blocked by Wemby. 3.4 seconds left on the shot clock. Shaq might have to put it. Yeah, he's got to put up a mid-range shot. He drains it to take the 1-point lead. Back in the post. Puts up a tough layup. And he hits it. 18 points for Shaq. He can win it on a 3-pointer. Obviously, he's not going to do that. Wemby with the steal here. Inside. And he gets fouled. Spinning. Tough layup. Misses. Somehow he gets that rebound. And he gets blocked by Shaq. Gets the ball again. Gets blocked again. Shaq with his takeover badge. Shaq in the post. Pushes Wemby out of the way. Misses the layup. Wemby with the board. You guys cannot score right now. Wemby with the spin move. The step back. Driving. And he misses the layup. The putback poster over Shaq. The lead cut down to 1. It's still anybody's game. Honestly, don't know who's going to win this. Wemby driving. Tough layup. And now Wemby with the 1-point lead. If he scores here, he wins the tournament. Driving. Getting inside. The reverse. And he misses the layup for the win. Shaq with the ball again. Both of them with their takeover badges. Shaq with the post scoring. Wemby with the defending one. Shaq inside. Can't hit the layup. Wemby with another opportunity to win this thing. Driving. The layup. It's no good. Gets his own rebound. Goes up again. And he hits the layup to win the game and the entire tournament. The 30 seed in the tournament, upsetting everybody he played against. But that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you check out this one right here, where I put the greatest duos of all time into a 2v2 tournament. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.